And the top of the day, whatever time of the day it is to you, and welcome in. This is Three Guys Before the Game, episode number 702. This is our recap. Sorry, we got to do it. Our recap of West Virginia and Kansas State and our preview of West Virginia's regular season finale against the Knights of UCF. Regular season now down to its final hours. Seeding possibilities and everything else that comes into play. The dean is here. Hoppy will have obvious observations. That's him, in case you'd never seen him before in person. And the senator's here as well. He's been in a surly mood of late.
Oh, he's fine. He's good.
He's good today.
It's an unfair early attack.
No,
Absolutely unfair.
No. You're good today, but the outcome in Manhattan left everyone.
Well, you were both surly. I listened to you. You were both surly.
I think pissed might be the word.
I mean, you weren't high-stepping into the plane after that one.
I was not. Let's do it. Three Guys brought to us by GoMart. Get yourself that GoMart Rewards card. Download the app and immediately begin saving on your food and your fuel. Go to GoMart.com for the details. Three Guys brought to us by Lou Wendell Marine Sales in St. Albans. They sell family fun. Visit LouWendellMarineSales.com. Three Guys brought to us by Tudor's Biscuit World. Start your day the homemade way with a Tudor's Biscuit. Got some new specials coming up. I'll tell you about those in a bit. Three Guys brought to us by Comax Business Systems, keeping West Virginia's business data safe, secure, and efficient for 25 years. By Jan Dill's Attorneys at Law. They won't take no for an answer. Spreads on Stats coming up. Presented by Conley CPA Group, providing value beyond numbers. And Textual Healing, brought to us by WVU Medicine, the exclusive healthcare provider for all mountaineers, including you.
Can I tell you something?
Absolutely.
It made me think at the very beginning because you attacked Brad. But
I attacked Brad.
I know you so well, and I've listened to about every broadcast this year, and you don't have to say on the air how you're feeling. I can tell. I can hear the frustration in your voice. I can hear the exhilaration. I know exactly how you, not only what's going on, obviously, but I can tell how you feel about what's going on just by how you are announcing the game at that time.
Not the first person to say that. Is that good or bad?
It's good.
It is?
Yeah. I mean, because it is emotive without you saying, boy, I'm frustrated.
Yeah.
You can hear it in the tone.
Yeah, I understand that. You know, baseball announcers...
Isn't it probably reflective of when you're listening, you're feeling the same type of emotions?
Often, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Rarely is he bummed out and frustrated and the listener's going, oh, this is great. Things are going great.
That's true. It's just interesting to hear how that's going. You know, Brad, you're a little bit more emotional.
No.
Yeah, he is.
But that's good. It's a good combination.
You know, baseball announcers aren't like that. I think it's because they do so many games. Like Major League Baseball, you turn on a game, it's the middle of the fifth inning.
No idea.
Until they give the score, you really don't know.
Yeah. Well, it's March 5th. They've already played 72 games in the regular season. So they got to pace themselves.
They can't get too excited.
We only get a handful of opportunities. We got to go.
Solid.
5-3 in the seventh inning in April.
Exactly. Ground ball hit out to third. He throws it over. They're up 10-1. It doesn't matter. We're down 10-1. All right. Coming up, we've got obvious observations from Hoppy. There's a few things there that we're going to get into. And Brad's got spreads on stats. Tournament time. The Big 12 Conference Women's Tournament started on Wednesday. The 7-week tournament started on Wednesday. And I'll be honest with you. I like the new glass floor. I went out of my way to go to ESPN Plus to find the first games of the tournament because I wanted to see the glass floor. I like the glass floor.
Technology is amazing.
Crazy, awesome. Man. So what they're doing is they're keeping the same floor down when the game's being played, right? That doesn't change. But during timeouts, they're going through all different they're going through myriad forms of the composition of the floor. So it's kind of like for those in the stands, you're getting a little bit of a light show during the timeout.
Intros too. That's really where they're brought out during intros. Old man Kirchhoff's mad. It's not the old wood floor with a nice key in the lane there where you can play. I don't like the new technology.
Hoppy says
Young men and young women have to play on this floor. I don't like it.
Back in the day when James Naismith created this game and they went to Bruce Hardwood's and Elkins to get the first basketball floor, I can't understand.
Not sure why they have rims with a hole. It should be a peach basket up there.
I can't understand.
I'm just glad you're entertained every second of the event because God forbid you would have a second that you're not somehow stimulated.
I just think it's neat and cool.
Why should we suppress cool technology just so you can just sit there like it's 1960? Put something cool out there. You got the technology. Let's go. It's neat.
And again, this is how many times have we said that schools, organizations that have games that are live, right?
Yeah.
What's the thing we've always said? They have to give fans something more than they'll get if they're sitting at home. You need to give people more of a reason to go rather than sit home. And these are the little things that, like, hey, that was really wild. The light thing that they don't show starting lineups on television, right?
Right.
I mean, these are the little things: the sound, the look, the feel. Nowadays, I mean, you got the 4th of July fireworks before every team. You have any idea how much heat those things blow out?
Oh yeah.
When they blow those flames up, it's like you go like, how in the hell does that heat get from there to here instantaneously?
I am a little surprised with all you can do with this floor, though.
Yeah.
That the Big 12 didn't have a color palette that was a little more vibrant.
What do you mean?
Well, I went heavy grayscale on a court that, I mean, you could do a million colors there.
Oh, I'm sure
you can change it based on the teams that are playing. What kind of grayscale in there?
I think that every time you make a basket, the rim should catch on fire. Just like,
you know, if they wanted, if you hit a 3, they could make the 3-point line blink. They can do that if you wanted to do that.
Now that might be a bridge too far.
More video game.
Oh, no. Do more. Are you not entertained?
I am concerned because a lot of times in years of sitting and stressing about video board blackouts and getting yelled at when a blackout would occur, what happens if I'm being serious here, one of those glass panels has a malfunction, which it will.
Right.
What do you mean it will? Why do you say that?
Because it's technology. Something's going to go wrong.
Yeah, something will go wrong.
Why would you say that?
Because it will. For years of staring at our video board before a football game when it worked perfectly, and all of a sudden the game begins and you need it to work, and there'd be a black little line that pops up on it and make you crazy. What if that happens? What if it goes over the 3-point line?
There was a college hockey game the other night, and whoever's running all the stimulation of lights thought there'd been a goal scored and started it all, and they were still playing. And the place went dark and then red. And
oh, my.
Yeah.
That wasn't a good day.
Yeah.
Anyway,
on
to further action.
Yeah.
Those game operations people, I mean, they run a lot of heavy risk.
Oh.
You know, our buddies, Dan Lohman and Zach Spiker, 100 years ago, they used to be interns for the Pirates. And one of their responsibilities each game was to do a trivia question that would go on the scoreboard.
Oh, boy.
And one night, they had the wrong answer.
Oh.
You talk about, like, 5-alarm fire.
Sure. Kirchhoff can relate.
They
unfortunately
it would be like Kirchhoff on election night when he used to lose his mind and run around like a crazy man. Anyway, 3 Guys brought to us by the good folks at Gomart. Basketball season is rolling toward the finish, and Gomart, look at this here. Got a fancy graphic. Stepping onto the court. Lace up your high tops. Take your shot. This is what we've got, folks. Bonus rewards points.
Real quick. Hold on. Before you get into the we got a nice lower third there. Look at that, Hoppy.
Oh, hey, it's the first time we've had
Big
lower
Candy's
thirds,
infiltrated, though. I see Big Candy down at the bottom.
Well, here's what you got. Take your shot for bonus rewards points and tokens. You purchase these specially marked products, collect all 6, and you will slam dunk an extra 2,000 points. To get ready to do this, you got to get the Gomart app. So go to Gomart Rewards and start running up your points. I see those things blow up in your mouth. What do those things cost on the left? What are those things? What's on the left, Brad? Fizzy boppies, booper boppers, smooky doopies, whatever. And you got all kinds of stuff. So check it out.
Search candy that explodes in your mouth.
At Gomart. Candy's become very violent. Like if it doesn't explode nowadays, it's not a good piece of candy.
Yeah, it's got to be exciting every second.
Every second. I didn't know you had to deal with that. So when did this start with you?
I'm being a little bit of a curmudgeon.
Since he was 32.
Well, as you said, I've always been 50.
Yes, I know.
Pop Rocks.
Pop Rocks, they'll go. Yeah. Juicies or what do you know what the heck those? What are those called? Your kids eat those. Juicies or Squiggies.
Don't know.
Squiggy, Lenny Squiggy, whatever the heck it is. All right. Obviously, we've gone off script a bit. Let's do this. It's time for Hoppy's Obvious Observations. 1, 2, 3.
He's got thoughts that sound brand new, but they're things we already knew. He's got his lip balm ready, heaven knows. Let's make it quick before his bladder blows.
Boom!
It's Hoppy's Obvious Observations.
Very much look forward to this. Some of his obvious observations are not obvious, which makes it more interesting. Go ahead.
You guys may not have known this because you were traveling, but Tuesday there was a lunar eclipse. And
Did not know that.
First I've heard of this.
Yeah, only one of the year, and maybe that's one of the reasons why WVU loses in a rare game where they were favored on the road. Why K-State, beats West Virginia. Why Kansas loses at Arizona State. Why Oklahoma State beats UCF. Why TCU won at Texas Tech. Lunar eclipse.
It was a weird night in the league.
It was. I thought it was one of the worst losses of the year, frankly. Tony, you and I were talking about this. I mean, you're playing K-State, and you feel like if you just get them down a little bit, they're done. They're done. Haggerty not playing. I mean, just go in. What, Brad? Take care of business.
I don't disagree.
Take care of business. Brad, as you said in the beginning, C.J. Jones makes a three. Good, let him shoot. Made a couple threes.
I said that because he had made 11
right
coming into the season. What he made in Big 12 play, like 5?
Shooting 29%.
Yeah. 19%. 19% from 3, made 2. So anyway, go ahead. All due respect, of course, to C.J. Jones.
C.J. Jones, who makes 2 3-point shots. In the first half, I actually felt okay. I mean, because defensively you had them shut down and you didn't score a lot of points. Oh, okay, you'll come out here in the second half and you'll pull away and K-State will be done. So all that will happen. And then you come out in the start of the second half, and I got to think that's about the worst. I don't know how long it was, 5, 7, 8, 9 minutes. That was one of the worst 5 to 7 minutes West Virginia's played this year.
Oh, 1,000% correct.
I mean, just turning the ball over, lazy passes, K-State's taking the ball down and scoring. Just like what? The thing just dissolved.
K-State might have. I don't know. This is unconfirmed, of course. I don't want to cast aspersions. They must have had something that they could do to the ball that made it difficult to hold on to if you're West Virginia, but that didn't affect them early. How many bobbles of balls did we have? Like I should have kept that stat. That was an inordinate amount of just you couldn't hold the ball. You couldn't hold the ball.
It's like they sprayed it with WD-40.
That only worked against us,
right?
But it didn't affect them.
Kind of like a Disney movie.
Anyway, go ahead.
And then like Coach Hodge said, quote, they took the ball from us. Okay, they made the physical plays. You deserve what you get, and so it just was. It was, and then what happens, Brad? K-State said, "What the heck?
We're in a game and we're winning. We might as well go ahead.
Just go." Wildcats, and Brad, you'll get into the numbers. K-State had more turnovers, but the Wildcats scored 20 points on West Virginia's turnovers.
Correct.
11 for West Virginia. Crazy game in the second half. Again, lunar eclipse. They go on, a 21-0 run? And West Virginia responds with a 19-1 run? Just bizarre. K-State, again, free throw line issues. K-State 19 of 25, West Virginia 9 of 16. There's a 10-point differential.
First meeting between the two, they took 4 foul shots.
Yeah.
Took 25 here in the second.
We don't need to do spreads on stats today with you two.
Okay, I'm sorry. That's it.
Yeah.
No more about the game. Do something else. He's going to give us all the other numbers.
One other thing. Brad will have, I give the obvious numbers. Announced crowd of 6,700. They must have been going within a 5-mile radius.
Tickets distributed. Don't worry about attendance anymore. It's always tickets distributed.
Okay. So, Brad, real quick before I go to the rest of my stuff, where does West Virginia now in the Big 12 tournament? Are they going to get the first round bye, or depends on what happens?
Still alive, yeah. We'll get into that here in a little bit. It's still jammed up. There's 4 teams: Cincinnati, UCF, West Virginia, BYU. BYU and West Virginia a game behind those other two. But there's still stuff to be decided here on this last weekend. Yeah, believe it or not, West Virginia in a chance, or has a chance to get to the number 7 seed. Yeah,
nice.
7 or 8.
And you'll talk about this, but now the UCF game coming up on Friday, the rare Friday game. That was one of those games. The first meeting, West Virginia won, but they were down. One of those games when they were down and came back. Honor Huff had 21, including 16 in the second half. Remember, he wasn't scoring in the second half. He took off. West Virginia also went to free throw line, got 19 free throw shots, made 16. So you'd like to see West Virginia close out this home part of the season with a win against UCF. WVU baseball, a curveball from the WVU baseball team, the brief and blunt announcement that pitcher Chase Meyer no longer with the program. No explanation given, but these things don't happen unless something happened. And Meyer was one of the few returning pitchers, and he was named to the preseason All Big 12 team, so he's gone. So a guy they were counting on to be strong on the mound, no longer with the team. Spring football practice starts in 2 days, Tony.
Yeah, the 7th, Hop.
Ton of new players. Just 31 players from the entire roster last season. Just 6 players back who started a game last season. Says Rich Rod, quote, "There's so much more competition, true competition at every position." That's something the coaches want to have, Brad. And if that is so, and we'll take Rich Rod at his word, because last year, a lot of it was just about finding guys and filling gaps, right? Not having competition, just who can we get to play? So this feels different.
Well, and I think all we have now is the famous phrase "on paper."
Yeah.
But on paper, I don't think there's any question. Your talent level, your talent floor is raised significantly. I'm excited to see what becomes of this offensive line. I think you take the quarterback position. Excited to watch Michael Hawkins live.
Yes.
Again, on paper, has the skill set that not only you would like to see, but that fits Rich's system. And what's Scotty Fox look like? Right? A guy that was thrust into action as a true freshman and got better. We saw him progress. How much of a leap is he taken in year 2? Running backs, you bring back the nation's leading rusher and a guy that had been at TCU. This isn't just a guy that succeeded at Jacksonville State, but he had played well at the Power 4 level. He comes in. You got a talented freshman running back. I think from an offensive perspective, there's zero doubt that the floor has been elevated here. Now, you still got to go perform.
Yeah.
But your talent has increased, and it always starts with, has your talent floor raised from the previous year?
Right. And we're on the Bubba Grayson bandwagon after
Way in on Bubba Grayson.
Yeah. Lou Holtz passes away at the age of 89. Always a West Virginia connection. Strong West Virginia connections. Tony, born in Follinsby.
Right.
Eastern Ohio guy, grew up in Eastern Ohio, but born in a hospital in West Virginia. And, of course, he was the coach of Notre Dame when they beat West Virginia in the Fiesta Bowl. It was played in 1989, but it was a 1988 championship where they beat West Virginia 34-21. So West Virginia connections to Lou Holtz. Finally, on this date, 50 years ago, GW defeated WVU in basketball 99-97 at the Coliseum in the opening round of the ECAC tournament.
Wow. 2
players were ejected for fighting. WVU's Russell Chapman and GW's Jim Smith at the 11-minute mark of the second half.
They threw down gloves, huh? Off they went.
Gloves. Chapman passed away in 2021 after a brief illness. He was from Toledo, Ohio. By the way, Tony Robertson and Bob Huggins fouled out later in that game. But and WVU came from, does it sound familiar? WVU came from 17 down in the game, but still lost the game. That was 50 years ago today at the Coliseum.
Speaking of basketball fights, that was horrific looking what took place yesterday in the Coastal Carolina, South Alabama women's tournament game.
Really bad.
That official went down
and
stayed down.
Yeah.
And I'm a little bummed out. Like, I've checked that like 10 times. Like, I want an update on the official. And, like, ESPN hasn't updated that stinking story since 5 o'clock yesterday afternoon. Like, give me some details. I watched the video a bunch. What do you think it was? Got hit in the neck or in the head?
I couldn't tell.
She dropped like bang.
Yeah. It wasn't like kneel down. It was boom.
That was as bad. I mean, have you seen a referee get knocked down like that? I haven't. Not that I can recall.
No.
That was horrible, man.
It was.
It was
scary.
Let me see if there. Go ahead. Let me see if there's an update. I'll check.
That was like horrible. I mean, bad. Hoppy, thank you for obvious observations. Coming up, we've got Spreads on Stats. 3 Guys Before the Game is brought to us by our friends at Tudor's Biscuit World. You know, Hop?
What?
You know, Brad? What about the Super Breakfast? Biscuit Country. Biscuit Country. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Try it out. The Super Breakfast, served with a side of gravy for dripping your biscuit on your favorite breakfast sides. That's what we're talking about. Take a look at that. It's a classic morning spread. Eggs made your way, your choice of meat, crispy taters, and a homemade buttermilk biscuit. And it does come with a bowl of the Tudor's signature sausage gravy.
There it is in the back. That's got nice crispy bacon.
Yeah.
It's the breakfast that does it
hungry right
all,
now.
and it does it deliciously. Check it out the next time you go to the Tudor's. It is the super breakfast, and it's available now.
Tony, the official, checking her name, Marla Gearhar, she was evaluated by medical personnel at the arena, was released, according to the conference. 8 players were ejected, and 1 player was suspended for the rest of the season.
Oh, for the rest of the season, that should be a lifer. That's what the season's over.
Well,
For the rest of the season, the season's over.
I mean, I'd have to watch the video. I don't know if she intentionally punched.
Doesn't matter.
All right. Okay.
I mean, dude, seriously, I'm wondering out loud, could there be an assault charge filed?
Well, sheriff's deputies were there.
I know that. I saw that. Of course you knew that.
I don't want to miss Brad's stuff, though, but I'll walk down. I'll watch it later.
You don't want to miss Brad's stuff.
Thank you, Hoppy.
All right. Appreciate it.
Yeah. No, I want to hear. I mean, I just gave the obvious stuff.
Well, that mine's going to be. This is one of those instances when you don't need my numbers to back up what you saw, but we'll do it anyway.
There's no big change in any of that.
Secret.
Okay.
So
All right.
Did I get in your zone?
Huh?
Did I get up in your zone?
No. Just they were obvious areas.
They were, weren't they?
Yeah.
WV women's basketball team arrived in Kansas City yesterday. The luxury of the double bye. They had games yesterday in the tournament. They have games today, which is Thursday, in West Virginia with the double bye. Practices today, waits to find out who they could see. Potentially it could be Iowa State. If the seedings follow through, West Virginia could see Iowa State. That's a quarterfinal game for West Virginia on Friday, semis on Saturday, and the title tilt coming up on Sunday.
See what West Virginia can do.
What does that mean?
Go out there and make a run. It'd be nice to see.
Yeah, make a run.
He had an unbelievable regular season. It'd be fun to watch them make a little run here after as you said, the double bye. I think so. When do they play? Like April 11th, their first game? Do I have that right?
Tomorrow.
Oh,
Friday.
tomorrow. That's right.
Friday.
Double bye is good.
You hope that right now they're not going to host an NCAA tournament game based on the projections.
That's a shame.
But as we all know from last season, projections really don't mean a whole lot. But it would be great if you could get some surprises in some of these other tournaments. And if West Virginia does, in fact, let's go out there and let's win the doggone thing. If you do that, that would be unbelievable.
That would be huge.
That's the next step for the women's program. They've got to get to the point where they host an NCAA tournament
It's
game.
such an advantage for those first 2 games if you can get it on your home campus. And it'd be bonkers.
It'd be over
Local
10.
Coliseum would be
14,
bonkers.
you'd have 14K
yeah,
there.
it'd be a fantastic scene.
Yeah, so they deserve that. So hopefully that'll happen. All right, let's do this now.
Check the numbers. We'll just go right to the numbers. Here comes a heater.
This is Spreads on Stats, brought to us by the Conley CPA Group, full-service accounting firm that provides so much value beyond just the numbers, serving clients throughout the state of West Virginia, surrounding states. 40 years in the biz, which means they have stood the test of time, kind of like Hoppy. You can outsource your accounting. You can outsource your CFO services. They can do it all for you. They can be your business partner, walking side by side and letting you know which is the best way to do this, which is the best way to do that to make it the most economical for you. Conley CPA Group.
I kind of want to see that floor now.
It's really neat. Kind of neat.
It is. Just the things you can do with it are really cool.
Yeah.
I think it's neat.
All right.
All right, Senator, fire.
All right, let's dive in. Let me begin with a just blanket disclaimer at the top of with all due respect to this team and where the Kansas State program is. So I will just begin with that. I won't say it on every point I make. I don't think I'm just Hoppy.
Okay.
Just an overarching with all due respect. We've been there. Understand it's okay.
Yes.
Been there.
Right.
So with all due respect.
Right.
I'm still just scratching my head that team in that particular spot at their life cycle evolution was able to go on a 21-0 run against you.
Agreed.
Just stunning. West Virginia had a game in which it went on 2 different 10-0 runs. Evan Miyakawa, evanmia.com, has a stat for that. It's called kill shots, and it's a 10-0 or better run. You do it 2 times in a game, and you win like 90% of the time that you're in there. Now, I didn't see a stat where if you do that twice and the other team gets a 20, I didn't check that one. But that to me, of all the things that were baffling about the other night, just that they had the ability and you couldn't get a stop in there for a team that, as you mentioned, Hop, and I said that going into halftime, I really thought, okay, you're only up, we were up three at the half, and part of you is like, you probably should have been up 10 or 12. Yeah. I'm a little bit anxious. But as you were watching that game play out, West Virginia, how many times did we say it, got everything it wanted offensively in terms of a shot or a good look. They weren't falling, I understand, getting everything it wanted, and defensively, K-State was really having to work. The game plan was to push them out of the middle, which is always the game plan. Keep them on the side of the floor, make it difficult to get in lane. And that's exactly what was happening. And they weren't making any shots. Held them to 23 in the first half. Yeah. So while you had a little trepidation, you were only up 3, you thought, all right, this team where they are, you're going to come out, you're going to continue to get good shots, you're going to make them, they're going to struggle. Here we go. Yeah. You're going to pull away here, you're fine. You're in good shape. That was simply not the case. It was really 3 areas, and you guys have identified a couple of them. There were 3 main buckets, I think, that got you in trouble. First and foremost, just again, guys, the inability to make shots at the rim. And the numbers tell us season-wise, you've been better than the national average on shots at the rim. My eyes and emotional well-being tell me that hasn't been the case, that when West Virginia struggles, a lot of times, guys, it's that in close, and I'm not just talking traditional layup where it's up off the glass and you're right at the rim. I'm talking West Virginia getting in the lane with a little teardrop jumper or a baby hook that you had some looks and you couldn't get them to drop. That was one. Number 2, and maybe the biggest area in this particular game was at the free throw line. And Hop, you already mentioned some of this, but another one of those old school stats, they made more free throws than you attempted. But what was maddening is this was a team that came into this game 15th in the league in free throw attempt rate. So you take your free throw attempts divided by your field goal attempts, and this was second to last in the Big 12. They just simply didn't get to the line all year. It wasn't a team that was able to get to the free throw line. You mentioned it. In Morgantown, they only went to the line 4 times. I thought it was one of the best examples all year of West Virginia guarding without fouling, without taking the bait when Haggerty would come in and flail and try and draw contact. The officials here in Morgantown, I thought, did a nice job of not taking that bait. Opposite of this, 51% free throw attempt rate for Kansas State, season high for the Wildcats. So not only did they get to the line, Hop, they got to the line at a rate in which they hadn't done it all season long. And then to their credit, when they got to the line, they made them. Yeah. They were above their season average in percentage of makes at the free throw line. This was a number that was just smacked me. Shot no free throws in the final 15 minutes of the first half there, remember? Right? You held them in check. You're 16 to 21 in the second half. 16 to 21. Free throws in the second. Just take that. Just take that part of it. Had 13 two-pointers in the second half attempted and 21 free throws attempted.
Jeez.
Attempted 8 more free throws than you did 2-point shots if you're Kansas State in the second half. And a trend continues. There's been some bad losses for West Virginia that you would like to have back. Utah and K-State, the 2 most notable. I would add in TCU and Oklahoma State, although each of those teams had a little bit of an advantage over the other 2, but I thought those were all 4 very winnable games. You were minus 39 points at the free throw line in those 4 games. Oof. Again, almost minus 10 to start the game. Your margin for error is not good enough there to overcome that. Points off turnovers, you mentioned. 31% of Kansas State's points came off of turnovers. 29% of its points came at the free throw line. That's a whopping 60% of its points came from turnovers or the free throw line.
Some of the turnovers are breathtaking.
Yeah.
I mean that literally. Like when you watch them happen, takes my breath away.
Well, you were appalled.
I mean, the softness of some of these passes is just, what in the hell? Or just possessing the ball, grabbing the ball, holding on to the ball.
You think in the start of the second half where one of those happens, you go, okay, tighten up. And then it kept happening. Like weren't there 4 consecutive times or something like 4 or 5? It just was.
Could have been. It was
By the way, let me correct something. Not no free throws in the final 15 minutes. That was a turnover stat there. Sorry, messed that up.
All right.
Just FYI. So anyway, I thought it was those 3 buckets. Just your inability to make some, and the inability to make those shots happened early And that's where, Hop, to your point, that's where I thought you missed your opportunity. I thought if you came out and jumped on this team and got them down 10 or 12, it was likely to be a team that wasn't going to have any juice from the building, that would just say, okay, we've seen enough here and we're done. And you just couldn't do that and let them stay in the game. And then you had a ball game and you were into it. Kansas State took 17 catch-and-shoot jumpers on the game. This is a stat we've looked at every time. It just makes you scratch your head. 14 of them were guarded, 3 unguarded.
They made all 3 of the unguarded.
They actually didn't. They only shot 33% on the unguarded ones. So thank you for the regression that finally came. Finally. Second to last game, finally got a little regression.
That's not a regression. Now it's an outlier.
Yeah, that's true, Hoff. Offensively for West Virginia, therefore defensively for Kansas State, I thought Kamari McGriff made a difference.
Yeah.
Some of your season is contingent upon who plays for you and who do you have to play without at certain times, and same for the opponent. And it's probably an area we don't talk about or give enough credit to or blame to, and I think that's a lot. And again, Hoppy, you know my stance on that. Never, ever apologize for who you beat without somebody in the lineup. Do not care, because you're also at times going without guys that are 100%, and West Virginia had to battle through that against K-State. No one gives you an asterisk. No one gives you a couple extra baskets because you got guys that don't feel well. So it is what it is. But McGriff made a difference, especially inside. West Virginia was 11 of 13 on shots at the rim in the first meeting. So when we talk about ability to make shots in close, I thought just his ability and his length in there was a potential problem.
He was really good in the second half.
And then offensively, he was really good. He had 14 points, so he was good on both ends. And here's a stat as we talk about getting in close. So 11 of 13 on shots at the rim in the first meeting. West Virginia only had 15 catch-and-shoot jumpers in the first meeting. That was the 4th fewest in Big 12 play. But on Tuesday, 20 catch-and-shoot jumpers. So you were forced out a little bit. 12 of them were guarded, 8 were unguarded. You just had 9 points off the 8 unguarded catch-and-shoots. You needed more than that. Needed a couple more buckets there, and you would have been in good shape. Again, some head-scratching numbers walking out of a game. If I gave you this box score after, you would think it would be a win. You had 12 more field goal attempts than they did. You made more 2-point field goals than they did. Same number of threes. You had fewer turnovers. You had more rebounds, including 5 more offensive rebounds, and you had more assists on the game. There were a lot of categories when you went and said, okay, you got this. You came storming back. Another great example. Yeah. This team's ability to come back from down 14 plus is really pretty remarkable, but you just couldn't get all the way back. Another area where you couldn't take advantage, Hoppy, you mentioned West Virginia forced more turnovers than K-State did, but scored less points, significantly so. West Virginia forced 13 live ball turnovers. You only converted that into 12 points, so less than a point per possession off your live ball turnovers. So that could have potentially changed the game as well. Just maddening. Just maddening. Just a difficult loss to swallow when you had a lot in front of you and you just couldn't go in and take care of it. One notable performance, though, mentioned Honor Huff making 3 threes, moved himself into second place all time in a single season at West Virginia in made 3-pointers. Pretty remarkable. One of only 3 players in the history of this program to make 100-plus threes in a single season, and obviously we're still going. So congratulations to him. It's been a remarkable 3-point season for Honor Huff.
He'll be with us on Saturday.
He will.
Oh, yeah.
The West Virginia Outdoor Show. Invite you to join us there. It's at Milan Park, and we're going to be on there from 12:15 until 1 doing whatever it is that we do, and then after that, he's going to move over to a different area, and he's going to sign autographs. So awesome. If you want something signed by Honor or get your picture made, you could do that with Honor Huff.
You know what would be neat to know about, and I don't know how you could get this without going over every game, is how many shots he made beyond the 3-point. You know what I'm saying? Like not just on the 3-point line, but in terms of distance. Yeah.
There's probably some heat maps out there.
One of the best tough shot makers we've ever seen play here.
No question.
And tough meaning not just at the point of release, but what he has to do to get open given the style of play and what's allowed to happen to him. You saw Bill Self get tossed at Arizona State for protesting the same thing, but that was protesting in favor of his 6'5" guard that will be likely the 1 or 2 pick in the NBA draft, blessed with some physical tools. Honor, on the other hand, is getting clutched and grabbed and hugged and pushed and banged very few calls. To be able to do what he's done, to get to 100 threes, given the style of play and officiating that he faces every night, pretty amazing season.
Yes.
In my opinion.
You can, if normally you're watching the ball when you watch the game and listening to you guys, is you just take a couple series and just watch him. That in and of itself is entertaining.
Not for him.
So,
Not for him. Yeah, it's nonstop.
He's getting assaulted
nonstop. I would say this.
Mm-hmm.
Despite the outcome of this game and a few of these other ones most recently, still really like this team a ton. I do like this team. However, they're going to be remembered for the ones that got away. The Utah, the Oklahoma State, and
Clemson, Ohio State,
and the Kansas State. I mean, that's going to be, you had it within your reach. It was there, and they just weren't able to close it.
Yeah.
It was right there for you.
You know, Tony, one of the things that Coach Hodge says is he does not accept that you are who you are. He doesn't accept that because he believes you can always improve, and I understand that. But at some point, you do look at the numbers, particularly the offensive defensive numbers, and you can say over the body of the season, you know, this is a really good defensive team and a very limited offensive team.
Sure.
That's evident on the data from the season.
Yeah. And I think they're gassed. They won't say that. I think they're gassed.
Well, I don't think there's any question.
They're tired.
This has been a long, grueling season of with some high-end, talented teams that you've had to grind. And, yeah, it's a slog. There's no question. But as long as we're talking about this, if you want to talk about what you're remembered for and what this team, let's do some history here. I think I think it's important to contextualize what has gone on these last 2 years in particular with, again, brand new coaches and an entirely new roster and short recruiting cycles. And I think, Hoppy, that's something to remember. And we'll see where this roster ends up next year. But we just went through this in football. Rich comes in year one with a compressed time frame to go get done a roster flip. Mm-hmm. And that's a lot of guys. I know that's a lot more than basketball, but the percentage basically remained, right? Although it was still more in basketball. And we saw, what did we just say about the talent floor at football?
Yeah.
I feel like it's been raised pretty significantly on paper from what you had to do in a compressed time frame. So you talk about what this staff was able to do to come on board, short amount of time, and I'll still say this. This team was constructed really well. So if you want to try and find things that you're picking up and moving forward from a structure standpoint, these guys knew how to assemble this roster from the pieces that you needed. You can debate whether you need more of something or more NBA-type players. Of course you do. Take as many as you can get. But when you construct this team with wing shooting, with a point guard that runs your system exactly how you want it to be run, with a 7-footer in the middle with some 6'9" and 6'8" guys around him, you constructed this with some thought. We've seen years before where it's just thrown in with just guys. You tried to amass some talent that absolutely couldn't fit together. The locker room was a disaster and it didn't work. That wasn't the case here. This was very intentional. And you ended up with a tremendous group of character guys that gave you absolutely everything they had, that chose to come to West Virginia and play for a season and give you everything they possibly had. Did they win every game you wanted them to? No. Did they make every shot? No. But this is, Tony, as we can speak from being around them daily since June, it's a wonderful group of guys. So I give them a lot of credit, number one. That aside, let's look at where this program has been over the last 7 or 8 seasons. If you go from 2018 to last season, 2018, you were 11-7 in the Big 12. In 2025, you finished 10-10. You played 20 league games, so you got to that 500 mark. In between those seasons, 2019 through 2024, guys, you were 39-68 in Big 12 play. 39-68 in Big 12 play from 19 to 24. In that time, you had 3 seasons, 3 of those, whatever that is, 6 seasons, where you went 4-14. Guys, you want to talk about a tough season. Tony, were the 4-14 seasons tough to get through?
Yeah, they were not fun.
Those were not teams that were on the brink of an NCAA tournament with a week to go. 3 seasons of 4-14 while having just one with an above 500 record in conference play in that time.
And not winning any road games.
And in the last 2 seasons, with, again, a brand new coach and a brand new roster both times, you got to 10-10 last year. You got to 500 in conference play. And this year, you still have a chance to finish at 500 in conference play. Now, again, over time, Hoppy, over 50 years, was this program built on 500 finishes in conference play? It was not. But when you're in a massive rebuild year after year after year and coming back from what was a really difficult 39-68 in the previous years when you did have some stability, and you're able to battle back to where you are in this year, what I think is the best league in America in terms of high-end talent, this, to me, I will not walk away from this season saying it was not a success or you shouldn't keep moving forward with what you've got. I think this group has done yeoman's work in a short amount of time to get to where it's getting to. On the precipice, if you can finish at home against what is likely an NCAA tournament team, it would be a sweep of the season over that team, and you would finish it at a dead-even mark in this league.
That would be a win. That would be success.
Just thought some context was important.
Yeah,
there.
absolutely.
Yeah, that's
agreed.
Good. And here's a stunning stat that will be difficult to digest. But in West Virginia's basketball history, okay, in West Virginia's basketball history, and these are a little tweaked because this will include games before West Virginia became a member of the conference. But West Virginia's all-time record, actually, no, this is true. West Virginia's all-time record in the Big East Conference, okay, in the Big East Conference is 49% winning percentage in the Big East. 49% winning percentage. All time against Big 12 teams, it's 117 and 131, which is 47%. Follow me?
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So, like, while you might want to think that it's like in the 60s, it isn't. The reality of it is that it's been below 500 in both the Big East and the Big 12. And that's painful despite the fact that you've had some great success in those periods, let's just say from 2000 through. There's also been these dips. So, statistically, can this team get to 500 by beating UCF tomorrow night and finish 9-9 in the league? You statistically would be above. And I maintain that going forward, with these guys, you will be over 500 on a regular basis going forward.
I agree with everything both of you said. And I've liked this team from the beginning, and there's a lot to like about them. And Brad, you gave great context there, and Tony, as did you. Here's the challenge is that for the casual fan, basketball is about scoring and about hitting shots. And this team has struggled at times with that, and that contributes to a frustration, a fan frustration about this team, is the limitations on scoring.
Yeah,
which is the again, I'm stating the obvious, and that is the most obvious thing that I think dampens the spirits of some Mountaineer fans. I'm just stating what I think is
and sure,
the perception out there.
I think you're right. And there's no doubt when shots don't go in, it affects how you feel the game looks. But listen, this is also a program, for the most part, most of its history, built upon defense and the ability to win in ugly. I mean, Bob Huggins built a Hall of Fame career out of having teams that were offensive challenged at many times and still winning games. Yeah. So I think the flip side to that, I'm not disagreeing with your point. I agree. If you're a casual basketball fan, the easiest thing to see and digest is, did the ball go in the basket or not? So when you're having nights where you miss shots, I understand that. That this is also a league in which you better guard.
Yes.
You better guard or you've got no chance. And that's especially true as you're building that program and trying to amass your talent. You had better guard, and one of the best ways to help your defense is to control the ball and have possessions. Right. Houston has had high-end success running this same exact system. So I get your point. I agree with your point. There's also a reason for doing things the way you do. And if shots don't go in, yeah, you're going to have some times of frustration. Yeah. There's no doubt.
Three Guys Before the Game is brought to us by Jan Dill's Attorneys at Law. They specialize in the areas of Social Security benefits and VA benefits. This note from Thomas, a client of Jan Dill's. I tried on my own for 3 decades.
What?
3 decades to attain disability for service-related issues incurred while I was serving offshore during the Vietnam War without success. I found Jan Dill's attorneys at law online, signed a contract for them to take my case. They did 100% of the initial paperwork. The only delays throughout the entire 5+ years were those created and caused by the Veterans Administration process. After denials and delays, Jan and her team acquired a 100% service-connected disability rating for me. I was moved to tears along the way by the care, tenacity, and professionalism of every person who was on my team. The attorney who represented me was the best I've ever had in my entire life. A 5-star rating is not high enough. I give them 10 stars. If you or someone that you know needs help when it comes to VA benefits, disability claims, Social Security claims as well, contact the folks at Jan Dill's Attorneys at Law. Jan Dill's Attorneys at Law. WVU, UCF tomorrow, 7 p.m. tip there at the Hope Coliseum.
Is it 7 or is it later? I think it's later.
I'll check.
Jeez, I don't know.
You better know. You guys are supposed to be there.
I think it's a weird tip time. I think it's later than that.
Again, another weird tip time?
Yeah, it's a weird tip time.
Like what? Like what is it?
Efforting.
Yeah, it's like 8 o'clock or something, I think.
What are we
Or
doing?
8:30 or...
I mean, come on. I can't get a good warm glass of milk and get to bed before 10?
You cannot. Not tomorrow night. You will not be able to.
Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. All right, what do we got?
Game 2 of
8
this.
p.m.
8 p.m. Yeah, I thought it was an odd start time. 8 p.m. tomorrow,
8 p.m.
Hope Coliseum. UCF, West Virginia, the first meeting back on Valentine's Day. That was a fun one down in
When was it?
Valentine's Day.
Valentine's
Day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
West Virginia went in 74-67 win, had 4 in double figures. Honor with 21. Jasper had 17, 12 for Chance, 11 for Belo. 13 offensive rebounds for the Mountaineers in that one. We talk about who played and who didn't play, maybe a factor. JaMychal Stillwell did not play in that first meeting. 12 points, 8 rebounds a game on the season. Guy that's had double figures in each of the last 3. That could be a factor. He's an interior presence for them that will be somebody to watch on both ends. So keep an eye on Stillwell, who'll be back in the game. Knights went on a 3-game winning streak after the loss to West Virginia, but since have lost 2 in a row, including a wild 111-104 shootout at home. So, Hoppy, as you just mentioned, fans love to see the ball go in the basket. I'm guessing UCF fans, although they saw that a lot, did not like losing when they put up 104 points. Winning always trumps all, Hoppy,
yes,
when
does.
it comes to that,
Yes,
even though you scored 104 and took an L. You know what I'm hoping? You want me to give you a hope for Hope Coliseum? That game actually pays some dividends for you.
What do you mean by that?
That UCF just played in a game where I'm not sure there was defensive players. I think in Iowa, they used to do a 3-on-3 where there were just offensive players and some played all-time defense.
Mid-court.
Kind of like when you're a kid, right? And you line up and pick up football and you say, I'll be all-time quarterback because you had an odd number. I think it was all-time offense in that game. Neither team wanted to guard. I hope that UCF comes in here and gets a little abrupt, like metaphorical smack in the face that now you're getting guarded.
Wait a minute, somebody's guarding me?
Yeah, wait, we're talking about the young men are guarding. Young men are guarding in this one. So hopefully that turns into West Virginia's favor here. Big key in the first meeting was the one-on-one matchup of Themis Folks against Jasper Floyd. Folks, a tremendous point guard for them, really, really stirs their drink and makes them go. He had 19 in that game against West Virginia, but man, he had to work for it. 6 of 14 from the field, and the bulk of those points came in the second half, if you'll remember. And most importantly, he had a game-high 6 turnovers that were a massive factor. Jasper locked him up, made it a really difficult day for Folks. That will be one to watch this season. I think you have Jasper back at 100% health in this one. So if you're watching for a specific matchup, keep an eye on that. Folks has been on fire, has had 20-plus in 3 of the last 4 games, and has had double-digit assists in 2 of the last 3 games. So slow Folks, and you got a chance to knock off what's been a UCF team that's had a fantastic season. I think a guy in Johnny Dawkins that'll probably get some Coach of the Year votes. Mm-hmm. If I was choosing, I might choose Dawkins over this. I always like those folks that exceed preseason expectations. Certainly UCF's that team. It'd be nice to go ahead and give them another L on Friday.
I don't know which result was more bizarre the other night, whether it was the Oklahoma State win at UCF or West Virginia losing to Kansas State. Because Oklahoma State, remember, we just saw Paris Fowler out for the season. He blows out his knee. Yeah. And they go down there, like I was gobsmacked, I tell you, when I was looking at that score, going like, are you serious? They're playing with these dudes? They're putting up a 100?
Lunar eclipse.
Holy heck.
Boy, but you think about it, UCF did for Oklahoma State exactly what you want to do. Your big guy that posts up really well is out, but may slow you down in getting up in the floor. What you don't want to give life to Oklahoma State is let them run up and down and not play defense on them, which clearly happened.
So if West Virginia wins this 8 o'clock start inside Hope Coliseum, they will either be the 7 or the 8. Depending on if they don't win, they could fall all the way down to 10. Correct?
Cincinnati will be a team to watch. They are on the road at TCU. You've got UCF coming here, obviously, and then BYU's got a tough one home against Texas Tech. So BYU, West Virginia, 8-9 in league play. UCF, Cincinnati, 9-8. West Virginia owning a tiebreaker over all of those at the current point. So if you can get UCF, Tony, yes, then you elevate up into that 7 slot right behind Arizona, Houston, Texas Tech, Iowa State, Kansas, TCU.
And in an oddity of today's game of college basketball, 6 Mountaineer seniors will be honored before the game. It will be senior night, and there have been times in the past where we have lauded these young men for their 4 years and sometimes 5 years of service that they have left here at West Virginia. In this case, your max will be 8 months. It's been June when they first arrived, and now we're into March, and it'll be an 8-month tenure that they will have. And to be quite honest with you, even though it's only going to be 8 months, I won't forget these dudes.
Yeah,
these guys are absolutely – they may not be all 5-star players, but they're 5-star people, and they will always be remembered as the bedrock, the foundation of Ross Hodges' tenure here at West Virginia, and you could not have asked for better guys. And so it will be senior day. And you may have seen this statistic, and this is an absolutely breathtaking statistic to how absolutely screwed up this college game is right now. This week, as senior day takes place at places all over the country, in men's college basketball, Division I, there are 22 players that have been on their team for 4 years or more. 22 seniors have been on one team for 4 years, or let me say it again, 22 players out of how many thousand? Over 2,000?
Well, they're not all 4-year
It's a Division
players.
I. Yeah. Division I.
Not all.
Yeah, that's true.
years.
But just think of that: 22, and I guarantee you, there's well over 100 that have played in more than 4 schools.
5 of those Big 12. That's
5
it.
in the Big 12.
5 4-year players in the Big 12.
Really, it's Friday night. It will be EOE night, end of eligibility night. But who's the guy for USC who's played for 7 years with 7 different teams? It just
got booted.
Chad Baker Mazzara.
Chad Baker Mazzara started up there at Duquesne. He was up at Duquesne when he started.
But the fact that there are no rules now, I'm thinking like a Lorient who's 6'9". I mean, can he just go over and get with Rich Rod? I mean, Brad, we hate the fade, but that's a guy you could throw the fade to, couldn't you? Lorient?
What a great athlete he's been. Yeah, I said it earlier, I know, but I'll echo what you said. These guys have just been a joy and a pleasure to be around. And as I mentioned earlier, chose to come here and play their final year of eligibility in the Golden Blue, and have given you absolutely everything they have from June. Every day in practice, every game, have been wonderful human beings and great representatives of this program. And I'm with you, Tony. I will miss these guys and remember their contributions to this school.
They will always put a smile on my face when we bring them up in the years to come, because just good dudes. All right, 3 guys brought to us by Lou Wendell Marine Sales. Happen to be the largest pontoon boat dealer in the state of West Virginia, family-owned for 4 decades, recognized as the state of West Virginia's experts when it comes to pontoon boats, and they sell the Avalon pontoons manufactured 100% right here in the United States of America. And they're going to be, they're going to have their chest blown out here this boating season, because of the only Honda Marine premium dealership in the state of West Virginia, only one. And if you're into the Honda boat and the engine, they've got that new McLaren racing motor, which will take your boat,
don't say it,
and make it so fast that it actually flies. It just takes off right off the water and just kind of flies, gets up to about 300 to 400 feet elevation. You can just fly your boat.
Thank goodness that is so absurd. Everybody knows it's hyperbole.
Well, they do have the Honda McLaren racing motor, the only one in the state that's the Honda Marine Premium dealership. Three Guys also brought to us by the good friends at Comax Business Systems. If it's time for your business to get a new phone system, contact Comax. They'll come in, do a little bit of discovery, figure out what the best way is to serve you and your needs, and they will be able to help you out. So if it's time for that new business phone system, contact Comax, WV.com. That's Comax, WV.com. Get away from those smudgy, dirty numbers. Don't need those. You don't need those. You need a new phone system is what you need. We've got a live show coming up for Three Guys. Mentioned it earlier that we're going to be at the West Virginia Outdoor Show at Milan Park Saturday noon until 12:15. We're going to just get there at noon. We're going to go at 12:15 to 1 o'clock. Honor Huff's going to be our guest. We're going to talk about ball. Think we get a Nerf hoop out there?
Are you going? This is perfect for you because of your hunting prowess.
What are you laughing about? What are you laughing about?
He won't have any idea what these people are
talking about. You know how many of those people are probably going to come up to me? It's probably some of those people that bring these people on these board tours, and they'll probably use me as an example. See that guy right there?
So this will actually be a great opportunity for us to talk to some real people with hunting success to talk about how many times they have a pre-shot boar that they then shoot on top of it and claim credit for getting. I'll be interested to. You talk about 22 seniors that have played at all four. I wonder how many people out there at this hunting show, outdoor show, not just hunting, outdoor show will have pulled that move.
Textual Healing is brought to us by WVU Medicine, the exclusive healthcare provider for all mountaineers, including you. You know, when it comes to your child's health, nothing matters more. And at WVU Medicine Golisano Children's, every child gets the very best of care. That's what families deserve. They are number one in the state of West Virginia when it comes to hospitals, children's hospitals, by U.S. News and World Report. From the baby's very first cry, life-changing treatments, and everything in between, the team is there ready for you. Trust WVU Medicine Golisano Children's to care for your family. You can visit them at WVUkids.com. And the things they're doing over at WVU Medicine Children's are absolutely at the highest level. It's amazing. We do a bunch of interviews over there, and the procedures and the things that you used to have to go out of state for are now right here. And you know, there's recruiting in sports. There's also recruiting in doctors. And they have brought in some absolute 5 stars when it comes to medical folks, and just incredible things.
Tony, one of the reasons they can attract doctors is they have WVU Medicine Children's Hospital, like they have a particular hospital dedicated to the care of children, which is a
freestanding hospital.
Freestanding, well, thank you, appreciate that.
Freestanding hospital. You see that eye center they're building, the Eye Institute?
Oh, yeah.
Whoa, that thing's going up.
Can't miss it.
I mean, that thing's going up.
In a hurry.
I know.
It's going up in a hurry.
Yeah.
That's what I just said the other day to somebody, Hop.
It is going up in a hurry.
And then not over there for about 3 days, and the whole entire parking garage went up.
Working all winter on that.
Well, you know, whenever they put the plastic up, when they put the plastic up, you know what that means. When they put the plastic up over the outside, that means that those masons are in there, and they are laying them bricks. And they're inside of that plastic. They're laying them bricks down.
And when they're done with that, at the main hospital,
I know
they're taking down
the eye center,
and that's going to be a cancer center.
10 floors.
Yeah.
10 floors. Going to be unbelievable cancer.
You're on it.
Yeah. First off, he didn't tell us this, hasn't explained to us exactly what he was doing. Jake, could you put that picture up, please, of the Hopster Bopster? Why were you in the state legislature this week? Why'd you groan? What was this for? Jeez. Why are you there in that blue blazer?
You know why I was there.
I do not know.
You know why I was there.
I received this picture and do not have clarification as to exactly what it was.
Well, you should, because you have received same. This was a proclamation approved by the legislature honoring me for my years of service of covering news in West Virginia.
Did not know that.
Congratulations.
First I've heard of that. Congratulations to you. That must be a great honor.
Thanks to Delegate Shirelli of Montague County who put that together. He called me, and we arranged a time to come down. It was a very nice Very nice event in the House chamber, and I want Delegate Chiarelli to know I appreciate that very much.
Could you show that picture again, Jake, please? Look at you. I mean, there you are in the halls of lawmaking in our great state, and there's Hop.
So since you brought that up, I wasn't going to bring it up because I'm humble, as you know. But that you also were honored with a proclamation because of the national award you received, and that was sponsored by Jeff Campbell.
Delegate Campbell.
Greenbrier
County.
And you have in hand, I'm not sure if you have it with today, but I presented it to you here, and you couldn't go down because you're traveling because the mountain.
You didn't go down? You didn't go down and get your picture made like Hoppy did?
Didn't go down there.
A miss by you.
No, as soon as I heard I was going to be honored, I just ran to Charleston.
Well, he should have too, Hoppy.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't let us know about that at all. Because when we got we received the picture electronically, and he said he's wearing the same shirt he had on at Three Guys the other day. So you took off. Took off and ran like a scalded dog down there to Charleston to get that picture.
I identified the timing of that, Hoppy.
But I appreciate that, and I really enjoyed my time covering the legislature, and it was a very nice honor. And again, you received same honor, just from a different delegate, from Jeff Campbell, for your service and your work and the national award that you received. So very nice. Appreciate it.
Thank you. You've been getting around. You were in D.C. at a big talk symposium recently, too.
Yeah, I get around. Semi-retired.
He was at the Sirius XM studios there.
He's retired. What else he got to do?
He's busier now than he used to be.
I was really good at work and really bad at retirement.
They had you hemmed in when you were at work. Now you're just like free, just winging it. Textual Healing. Texter says, I believe this team is just worn out. Short bench, high-energy defense has taken its toll. I'd agree with you.
Hey, Brad, question for you. I was thinking about this, and this is just completely out of the blue, is that this league we know is so extremely tough. And is it possible that the best teams in this league, the top 3 or 4, by the time they get to the NCAA tournament, are going to be worn out? Or is that like everybody?
Yeah, probably everybody. But I am interested. The way the Big 12 decided to do its scheduling this year has made for some incredibly high-profile games. So nationally, you're getting a lot of attention as you round into the month when there's a lot of people that are just now joining the watching of college basketball. I'm interested to see how that goes next year with Arizona, Houston, Texas Tech, Iowa State, Kansas in that gauntlet of round robin they've been playing in February. Think about what they're asking those teams to do. I mean, that's in essence its own mini NCAA tournament, going right into a Big 12 tournament, going right into the NCAA tournament. So I would think there'll be some coaches and administrators that have conversations in the off seasons about scheduling.
I agree with you. And then you know what the response is going to be from the conference? Cash your check.
Yeah, agree.
Cash your check. The reason why we're getting dollars is because we're giving these games to TV, and TV wants them at the end.
I bet there will be some tweaks, though. They very rarely just say, no. There will be some tweaks. I bet it won't be as big a gauntlet, but that will be the response from the league. You're right.
Do you think some of these teams will be worn out, Tony? Or do you think, there's rest between games?
So if your conference, even if you make it to your conference tournament final, you play your Saturday, and then you don't play again until at the earliest Thursday. Mm-hmm. That's at this time of the year. That's a significant break. Yeah. But I think overall, but everyone's tired.
Effect,
okay. But everyone's tired.
Okay. Here's the other thing, Hop. It's hard. I know we'll assign that to a lot of cases. It's hard. This is as unforgiving of a championship tournament as exists. A win and you're done. Got to do it 6 times to claim the national championship in a shorter time frame game when weird stuff happens. Like this is an unforgiving tournament to win. It's a real challenge.
But you got to play 2 games in 3 days. 2 games in 3 days if you're going to advance to the Final Four, right? That's hard.
And then 2 games in 3 days at the Final Four to try and win that.
Yeah.
So it's 3 rounds of that.
Texter, how? ? Why? ? Unbelievable. We, team and fans, took a huge gut punch tonight. We get quad 1 wins and give them away with terrible performances and losses to bottom dwellers in the league. Sloppy play, 13 turnovers. Most were live ball, led to scores, no interior defense without fouling. Totally different team than the one I witnessed live in Hope. Shots were there, couldn't convert scores. Only thing left is a sweep of UCF. Take momentum into the conference tournament. Let's go. Texter, guys, specifically Senator. Using the old eye test, it seems to me that as Brennan Lorient goes, so goes this team. When West Virginia started its comeback against K-State, it seemed Belo was the spearhead. Is there an advanced stat that accounts for how good a team is when a certain player is having a good game, like maybe winning percentage when X player reaches Y points and Z rebounds? I know of the wins above replacement stat, but I thought it just accounts for a player when they are in the game versus when they're out. I hope the question makes sense. Love the show, Kevin Princeton.
Yeah, it's a good one, Kevin. Actually, you kind of answered your own question there. The winning percentage when X player reaches Y or rebounds would kind of be just that you could argue causation, correlation. Wins above replacement is designed exactly to do that. It's not just an on-off stat there, but that's really the one. And Belo computes well on that. I agree. First of all, I agree with Kevin's point, the eye test. When Belo goes and has a good game, that's generally good news for West Virginia. And part of that's just, as you would expect, when teams have put, as we did in film study last week, when they tug up on Trey and Honor on the outsides, it creates driving lanes. You get a really good athlete like Belo that can elevate in the lane and get those shots in close at his size and leaping ability. That's part of why you see that. This is a number that's really good. You talk about a kid. It's interesting you mentioned those 22 seniors that have played at one school. The challenge in this day and age is I do think you lose some development of certain guys when they bounce around to different places. And as an example, I would say that about a Ross Hodge system. If you're a guy like DJ Thomas, you have really developed in your first year in college basketball. But think about DJ. If DJ's here for a second and third year, never mind a fourth, just a couple years, think how much he's going to understand the system. Think how much Belo understood this system along with Jasper. Two guys that are in the right spot defensively way more often than they're not. And that some of that development is stunted when you go from system to system.
Sure.
It's too bad Belo had a wasted first year at FAU from a playing standpoint, only appeared in 10 games. This is a guy that's continuing to get better. I think his best basketball is ahead of him. I think he's a guy we're going to look up in 7 or 8 years, potentially overseas or G League, and say, man, look what Brennan Lorient turned into. All but 2 games in Big 12 play, he scored in double figures. Wow. So it was, and that's more than he had in the non-conference season. So it's a guy that's figuring out how to play at this level. He's adjusting to what teams are doing, and he's had a really good season for the Mountaineers.
What's unfortunate with all this crazy stupidness that's going on with professional athletes from overseas coming in and guys playing in the G League is that they didn't go 5 for 5. If Brennan Lorient had 5 years to play 5 seasons, then he would be back, and that would be great. That would be really good, but that's not going to happen. Last one, hi, 3 guys I never miss. A couple episodes back, you mentioned Lou Holtz. Question where he hailed from. I decided I was going to do a little info searching for you this week. Then today I hear the news of his passing. I'm sure Hoppy has already researched this, but here goes. I live in Follinsby, was born here, but at the age of 4, family had to pack up, move a short distance to East Liverpool, Ohio, to live with his grandparents. If I remember correctly, I think his father had lost his job and they had fallen on hard times. East Liverpool sits directly across the Ohio River from Chester, West Virginia, Hancock County. A few years ago, dedication to him, which I attended, it was held at our park. Very impressed with his speech and his humble attitude. Also included a photo of my new fireplace decor, which I love. Signed Paula.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, looks good.
There it is.
Old Matty Caridi.
Yeah, Matt Caridi's
artist in residence.
Looks good.
That's the black marble plaster outline of the state of West Virginia with the handmade Caribbean walnut frame. Those are available, by the way, on episode800.com. He made
Has
more.
he restocked?
He made more.
Sold out the first run.
He did. I called him recently, and I said, what are you doing? He says, I'm making more. I said, how many? He said, I got 17. He was doing 17 of them.
So that's good to know. Sometimes artists, as you guys well know, when they take their art and then they have a great business going, and then they'll just decide to not make any more of the product
that does happen
that
sometimes.
Is selling really well. There's examples of that exist in the world. I'm glad to know Matt, while a great artist, also has a business sense about him that says, you know what? People liked this product. It's very nice. I think I'll make some more. Very good business acumen by the young man.
Yeah, so they're available. Episode800.com, limited number.
2 other things about Holtz, and there's a lot that could be said about him. One is he had, at the college level, and he coached, I don't know, 5 or 6 different colleges, he had success wherever he was, and in particular of turning programs around. The only place he didn't have success when he took that year with the Jets, but then again, who has success with the Jets? 3-10 and quit before the last game. Like he said, God never intended for Lou Holtz to coach at the professional level. He's very much a college coach, really a disciplinarian and getting after him. Second thing is, he was a wiry little guy. I mean, like 5'10", 150 or something. He played linebacker at Kent State.
What is that? You imagine that?
It's back in the day. Of course, that was a few years ago.
If you have a minute, Hop, you'll want to do this later. Go Google him and his newspaper trick when he gets up and speaks.
Yeah, he did a hell of a job.
Oh, what was that?
Let's go Google it.
Okay, I'll do it.
Magic trick.
Magic trick.
Magic trick.
He's one of the legendary all-time great motivational speakers. Yeah. He's tremendous. Was tremendous at that, but the newspaper trick was pretty fun.
I'll do that.
All right, let's have a meeting. Let's have a public meeting.
Okay.
So I don't know when our next show is because we might leave Sunday.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my.
So we'll have to figure it out.
Sunday morning?
Subscribe, follow. It'll be in your feed.
Subscribe. Yeah, subscribe on the YouTubes and give us a follow. But we'll try to do the best that we can to get it together. And then it's just kind of it's a busy time. We got state tournaments coming up as well. We got the got the
MEC.
Mountain East.
I was gonna go WVIAC. I'm gonna go old school WVIAC. We're gonna the Mountain East Conference tournaments taking place in Wheeling. Metro News Television is providing those games. Metro News Radio as well. Girls State tournament next week. Boys State tournament the following week. So it is tournament time. We'll do our best, and as Brad said, the best thing to do is just give us a subscribe, and then you won't miss. We'll try to sneak one in there. I don't know what happens.
You guys are going back to Kansas.
Yes.
A return trip to Kansas.
Yeah, it is a return trip to Kansas
City this time.
Yeah, absolutely. Love to see some folks. Please say hello. We'll get your picture made with you over that in Kansas City. Three Guys brought to us by GoMart. Get a GoMart Rewards app and immediately begin saving on your food and your fuel. GoMart.com for details. Lou Wendell Marine Sales in St. Albans. They sell family fun. Visit LouWendellMarineSales.com. By Tudor's Biscuit World. Start your day the Three Guys way with a Tudor's biscuit. By Comax Business Systems, keeping West Virginia's business data safe, secure, and efficient for 25 years. By Jan Dills, attorneys at law. They won't take no for an answer. By Conley CPA Group, providing value beyond numbers. Textual Healing brought to us by WVU Medicine, the exclusive healthcare provider for all mountaineers, including you. Special thanks to our producer, Jake. Jake's the dude. Jake's the man.
Yeah, he's...
And also had a cameo pop in here on the other side of the wall. Jumpin' Jack Carlson's back.
Yes.
And he made social media headlines recently by announcing he's gone into the portal for his first job out of college.
Committed. Got a commitment.
He's going to be working.
5-star recruit there.
He is elite.
Getting rev share money.
Yeah, he's going to start working for Metro News in Charleston with the one and only Jeff Jenkins.
Wonderful example of how if you put in work and time, then when it comes time for somebody to hire you, it's an easy decision.
Are you saying hard work pays off?
Yeah, and I'm saying he got the job when he was about 12 years old.
Right.
In all seriousness, when he first made his appearance, started doing work, hung around, did a great job, showed up, boom.
Just like Don Nealon used to say, I'd take as many jacks as I could get. Don would say.
I'll tell you the story about that one day. There's a little more not intrigue, but I think it's interesting how we came up with Jack to be in Charleston.
Okay. Can't wait to hear it. We'll be back at some other point. Subscribe, give us a follow, and we'll be with you. Stay well. Episode number 702 is completed.